Josh, we're back with the weekend wrap up show.
We are. It's another Saturday morning here in December.
A nice, cool, crisp Saturday morning after a big night of festivities.
There was a large night of festivities last night, which we'll cover later on in the show, but there was a lot going on there.
So, yes. You've got a special shout out here.
I have a special shout out this morning. This is actually a make good from last week. I went a couple weeks ago and hung out with a little old man in a red suit, and I promised him I'd give him a shout out on the show. I think we might have a picture. You get a picture you can pull up of this little old man and his wife there. This is Mr. and Mrs. Claus, and they were at the this was at the county. I don't even remember what the event was called. It was that Bedford County Fair Christmas event.
A couple weeks ago. Fair Christmas.
Yeah. Santa's a big fan of the show. He watches, and
really?
He just wanted to get a shout out on the show. I tried to get from him the naughty and nice list. I was trying to find out what commissioners and council members were on the good and the bad. He wouldn't share any information.
That thing changed last night in my family 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, he didn't want to divulge any information, but I did want to. You don't want to tell Santa you're going to do something and then not do it. So I did promise Santa he would get a shout out. So shout out to Santa. So we appreciate him being on the event. You can take the picture down now. He's had his time in the sun. So good job, Santa. Thank you.
Very good.
And then one other thing I want to do before we go to our commercial break is this week I got invited and went to the first play I've been to at the Fly Art Center, Steel Magnolias. They got going there through the month of December, and they did a really good job. So just wanted to say they, really enjoyable. It was funny. It was well acted, well done. I got to make a little personal confession. I'm not a big fan of arts, David. I've been to New York like a half dozen times, and I've had no desire ever. Terrible thing to say, and it's probably not cool, but I'm just not. Did a great job.
Entertaining.
So it was entertaining. It was very entertaining. I think there's dinner involved when you go to it.
Right.
Actually paid for tickets. I had free tickets, so there was no dinner involved. Though they did have the hors d'oeuvres and drinks and stuff.
Okay.
So yeah.
Well, that's we do have some talent around here.
We do, yeah.
And it's on showcase there because most every production they have is really well received.
Very professional, very professional, very funny, well acted. Didn't seem like anybody flubbed the lines. I wouldn't know. I didn't know what the lines were, but it seemed like they knew what they were doing. So they had a lot of practice.
Yeah, for sure. They work hard.
They worked hard. So yeah, I think they said they spent about 2 months getting ready. So yeah, a lot of work went into it. So with that, maybe let's hear from our sponsors, and then we got a few news items when
we've got a few things. So. All right, we'll be right back.
Now available at Auto Collection, we currently have 2 excellent vehicles in stock, both with clean titles and in great condition. 2015 Ford Escape, 119,000 miles. 2021 Nissan Altima, 60,000 miles. Whether you're looking for a dependable SUV or a modern, fuel-efficient sedan, these vehicles offer quality, reliability, and value. Visit us at Auto Collection 319 Madison Street, Shelbyville. Call us today, 931-492-4663. Schedule your test drive and let us help you find the right vehicle for your needs.
Get the results you want with the personalized service you deserve at Dennis Young Insurance Agency.
As a local independent agency, we offer coverage from several different companies, including Erie. So whether it's auto, home, life, personal, or business, we can find the right coverage to meet your unique insurance needs. And with a rate lock advantage, your rates won't go up as long as you do not change drivers, autos, or addresses. Contact us at Dennis Young Insurance Agency, insuring Shelbyville and surrounding areas since 1988.
Ready to upgrade your space? At Extreme Flooring in Shelbyville, we've got you covered. From carpet and hardwood to luxury vinyl, tile, and waterproof flooring. We also handle kitchen backsplash and bath remodels. Our design and sales team will help you find the perfect fit with trusted brands like Dreamweaver, Shaw, Mohawk, Doll Tile, and Tile Bar. And their certified installers make sure everything looks just right. Stop by and see us at 225 Colorado Boulevard in Shelbyville or give us a call at 931-735-6700. Financing is available. Schedule your consultation today at extreme-flooring.com. Let's make your home amazing.
All righty. Welcome back to the weekend wrap-up show. Josh, you've got a lot of stuff to go through, but I know you've got some questions.
I have some questions. I was the last 48 hours, I've gotten a lot of questions, so I'm going to be the interviewer for a minute. I'm going to ask you some questions, Mr. Thomas. We everywhere I went last night, I got asked about the article They were like, who wrote that article? So
yeah.
I'm going to give you a wild guess which article they're talking about. But what article? This would be the Good Old Boy.
The Good Old Boy
article. So,
Network article.
who wrote the Good Old Boy?
That would be
Network?
me with contributions from about 35 other people.
Yes. So it actually, I saw it over about you worked what, 2 or 3 weeks on it?
I worked between 3 and 4 weeks on that.
Yeah, I saw many copies of it. Question number 2 I got asked a lot was, did AI write the whole article?
No,
So,
AI did not write the article. Here's what AI did.
Yeah.
It did some research for me on the Good Old Boy Network from back in at the turn of the century time through southern Tennessee,
right.
which goes back to Memphis, and this is not a derogatory judgment on what we're talking about here. It just talked about the history. There's going to be more parts of this coming out, Josh. There'll be a part 2, a part 3, and probably a part 4 talking about how it was developed, how it got here, how it even got its name. I mean, and that's just a slang term. It's Good Old Boy Network. But there's I had probably 6 or 7 county employees and other public servants chime in and give me some input. I've had family members that have held office in the past. They gave me some input. Just a lot of different people came together over the last year telling me stuff.
Right.
And I've lived here my entire life. So I've been in the middle of it. Okay. Yeah. So putting all of this content together, it took a while.
Yeah.
And AI was used to check grammar, to check some layout, but all of it was done from through me in a conglomerate thought process.
Right.
And I even, after it ran through spell checks and everything, a good friend of mine caught a couple of errors and corrected me on the spelling of some stuff, but I ran it through a lot of people before it ever was published. But it was me.
Yeah, and then the last one everybody asked was, why didn't you list the names?
Because there's not enough room. But it's the Good Old Boy Network. I mean, if you want to pinpoint and say this is a bad person or this is a label, that's not the way this works. The Good Old Boy Network is a bunch of good old boys and gals. Okay, they're good folks. There's history behind how all this developed, and we'll go into it. And it goes back for decades. So, I mean, you can't put names to it. If you want to fill in the blanks yourself, you're welcome to.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's kind of the way it's left. But we're going to talk about it some more, how we can turn the tide if we choose to.
Right.
And then why we're where we're at. And I think it speaks to representative government from the ground up, from our founding fathers to where we are today. And our national government, our federal government, our state government, and our local government is most important. And that's what we live with. And that's what we see every day. So that's easier to talk about. So that's why we're talking about it. And we're going to continue to do so. So if you're offended by it, give me a little time. We're going to go full circle on this thing. There'll part 2, part 3, and part 4 possibly.
Yeah.
We'll get there. And hopefully everybody will go, oh, okay, at the end of the day, and see, this is where we're at, and this is why we're here. How do we want to change it if we want to? That's the bottom line there.
Yeah. So that hopefully that answered the burning questions I got, because man, did I get a bunch of people asking me questions. So, and other than that, we're not actually diving into the meat of the article. Go read the article, leave comments on the article if you want to. And then I know you and Bo this past week, and probably will again the upcoming weeks, we'll talk about it some more as far as the opinion side of it. And that was one of the pushbacks I saw too, was like, oh, this is, an opinion posing as news. No, this is an opinion. It's an opinion.
That has nothing to do with news. If it's news to you,
article.
You're not paying attention.
Yeah, this was an opinion piece.
Right.
Yeah, if you couldn't figure that part out, I can't help you. So,
yeah.
Can't help you. Now into the actual news of the week, because I hate talking about ourselves. I don't consider that news, but it was the questions I got. Uncle Nearest, we posted a couple different updates this week. I'm not going to go deep into those. Go back and read them if you want the information. Number of court filings again this week. Both, I believe the initial one came in from, I've lost track now. They all run together. The receiver filed, the bank filed, and then there was a deadline. And we thought last weekend that the bank would file at like 11:59 p.m., which is what they like to usually do, the very last day, so nobody can get anything in after them. They actually slipped up a little bit this time, and they filed late afternoon, early evening, which allowed the Weavers to get in a response, a 26-page filing at the very last minute, which then the receiver came back and pointed out, which I felt this was a little suspect too. The initial request from the judge was, I don't want back and forth. I just want one set of answers from each group involved here.
Right.
And then I want to make my decision. And they kind of came in at the last second and said, hey, we're the directors of the companies, so we're going to file as the directors of the company, even though we're the one that filed the initial motion as ourselves. So basically, we're going to put a different hat on and file the same information in a different way. So,
Josh, you play chess?
I do play chess, actually, not recently.
You know what a
yeah.
stalemate is, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
A stalemate is when you can't move. Basically, you're just stuck.
Right.
All
Yeah.
right. I think this is the illusion of a stalemate when all you have left is a king.
Yeah.
All right.
Nobody's going to get checkmate.
No.
Yeah.
All right, but they are.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm talking about one side only has a king.
Right.
All
Yeah.
right. The board is loaded on the other side.
Right.
And it's like that last king's trying to create a stalemate that just not going to happen. That's kind of how I see this.
You feel at some point the king's going to fall.
The king's fallen.
Yeah.
Now, to what degree, we don't know. That's yet to be seen. But I think this is just, try to stall a little bit to get some stuff together. I don't know.
Yeah, we had been kind of not moving, and then all of a sudden it's gotten active again. The interesting thing I did see this week, and we did post about it, but I just want to cover as well, that they actually put a website out. The Weavers did this week, and
Fawnweaver.com.
Fawnweaver.com. They which that website existed. They just added this information about the case to it. They made some interesting claims there. I just thought I'd lay them out. I haven't found any of this in the court documents as far as my reading, but I may have missed it. But one of the claims on the website is that Farm Credit may ultimately end up owing more to Uncle Nearest than Uncle Nearest owes to them. So somehow they feel like the bank is going to owe them money. I don't know how the bank is going to end up owing them over $100 million, but that's an interesting twist on it.
That just mind blowing.
Yeah,
actually.
They say that they found evidence that there is evidence that a real estate firm with $50 billion in assets had provided a letter of intent to refinance their debt of $100 million prior to this whole operation. I feel like if Farm Credit actually had been offered the full amount of debt, they would have taken it in a heartbeat, but that's just my speculation. I haven't seen that particular piece of evidence. They've not presented that evidence yet. And then they claim in a number of places in that 26-page filing that the collateral that is held against the Farm Credit debt exceeds the debt amount. But there was nothing that said that exactly.
Forbes magazine quoted Ms. Weaver saying it was worth $1 billion. Maybe that's the figure they're using.
Well, they're saying somebody has evidence to evaluation, but so far the receiver has not found any of that. So I think, it's up to the judge at this point. He's got to go through this. He's got to decide. He's got a couple options. He can just leave the receivership in place and let it play out for a few weeks and get his next report, which was due in January anyways. He could agree with the motion they made a couple weeks ago and basically take this thing to a trial and let's litigate the debt and decide, do they owe it? Do they not owe it? And if so, they've got to pay it. So they can either pay it or do a bankruptcy.
So I thought that was established right on the first testimony when Mr. Weaver said that.
They agreed. I was in the courtroom. They said they owed it at that point. So now they're coming back and saying differently. Now they're saying that possibly the bank owes them money. So I don't know how that works, but
okay.
Yeah. So the judge has got a lot to go through. I think he was probably thinking like we were, that this thing was kind of quiet through the holidays. We wouldn't have to deal with it till January. So he's now kind of stuck with it here in December. So we'll see how quick he rules. He'd been quick early on, but this was not a point in time that he had set aside a lot of time for this case. I feel like as a federal judge, he probably has a lot of other cases going on.
Yeah.
So we'll see how quick he comes back. He doesn't have there's no deadline from his end. He can rule when he rules. So He may come back this coming week. He may come back Monday. He may rule over this weekend.
Yeah.
You know, we'll as soon as we see something, we'll definitely.
Yeah,
post it.
you've got
So,
that monitoring pretty close there. You
I
see
do
the
actually.
stuff coming in.
I've actually got an app on my computer. The federal courts do a what's called an RSS feed,
Yeah.
and it gives me a notification anytime anything's filed in the case. So, another quick update, and we post about this. We're not going to go too deep into it. The story we've covered the last 2 weeks: the possible rock quarries on Highway 64 Moore Trace and on Fairfield Pike. The county planning director issued a fairly thorough letter. I think it was 8 pages long,
Right.
that explained the position that the county's taken on the case. Commissioner Eric Maddox got that from Chris White, got permission. He posted it. We've reposted that on our Facebook page. So it is pretty much the information that you and I had given out the last couple of weeks. Just Chris is a much better portrayer of the information. He puts it in black and white where it's easy to figure out.
But
So
he also
I stumbled over my words and tried to explain it, but
Yeah.
he was very clear and concise.
Yeah, it was
So,
a
yeah,
well put together piece of,
Yeah.
of the process by which they've got to where
that
they're
they
at.
went to where they
Hopefully that has silenced some of the chatter and the rumors. You know,
Right.
and
Yeah,
it
it's
has-
out there clear and black
Yeah.
and white. There's a deadline, which is the end of the year for them to for the parties to get with TDEC and, you know, either get squared away with the state or not. And then at that point, the county will revisit. It's all there in the letter. Just
Yep.
read the letter
Yep.
and it's pretty clear. So as far as events that I went to this week, Tuesday evening was the city council study session. It was, I put down here in my bullet point, short with limited discussion. It went
Yeah.
30 minutes,
Yeah.
which is pretty short for a study session.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, I got home and my wife said, "Why are you home already?"
yeah, yeah.
So I said, well, I felt like maybe there was a Christmas party afterwards that I wasn't invited to because everybody seemed like they wanted to get out of there. So they were quick, but we did at least a couple things were read off. Again, not a lot of discussion on them, but there are 2 annexations that'll be up for a vote at the next meeting. There's 10 acres on 231, 25 acres on the bypass, and then there will also be some rezonings that go with that. Most of them to commercial zoning. There is one 12-acre parcel, and we talked about this last week,
Yeah.
up on the bypass that's requesting multifamily zoning, which would be either townhomes or apartments. The planning commission came back unfavorable with that due to its location,
Right.
makeup of the neighborhood, a couple other reasons. So I feel like that's probably not going to pass, but we won't know that for a couple weeks till it gets voted on. And then right at the end of the meeting, I brought up something that we talked about here last week and I think the week before, which was the senior property tax freeze. This is a program which I had looked into a few months ago, and then, you know, we hadn't done a whole lot with it. And then somebody brought it up a week or so ago to us. I said, you know, maybe it's time that we start working
Right.
on this. Also, I want to point out that I've had a number of conversations with Commissioner Maddox at the county commission, and he is going to look into it from the county side, how to get this, you know, possibly to a committee meeting and see if we can get this to a vote on the county side. What this was enacted by a change to the Tennessee state constitution, actually, which I found in research in 2007, I believe. And it allows you to freeze the property tax of seniors 65 and older at the rate of whatever it is when it's freezing. It's a freeze. So if your property tax this year was $2,400, for instance, which
You're
is
gonna
about
get-
what mine is.
Get knocked down. It's going to
No,
stay
it would
right
stay
there.
at
Right.
$2,400 for the
Yeah.
remainder of your life, as long
So,
as
You don't.
your income is a certain level.
Do you know what that income is?
There are 2 different options that we would, if this comes to vote, we get to vote on. There's one, I don't have the exact dollar amount. I want to say it's in the mid 40s, like 45,000 a year. There's
Or less.
or
Right,
less.
yeah.
There's a second option that we could enact, which would be it's about $62,000 a year
Or
or less. So that's all we can do as a city and county government. There's not a broad framework there where the state gives you a bunch of options. I was actually approached by Mr. Dave from Cooking with a Veteran and asked if we could roll this out to disabled veterans as well. And I've not done my research, but from my limited research so far, it looks like it is just focused on seniors. There's not a veterans aspect. We do have
Right.
tax assistance for veterans that were
Right.
already enacted here in the county and the city that
Okay.
takes place. But
So-
this particular program, it's very limited, set by the state.
Okay.
All we can do is vote to have it or not have it.
Okay, so here's my
Yeah.
question. Why would you say no to this?
I had some discussions last night. We'll call them discussions with some people that felt like it was unfair because it gave a deal to certain seniors, but other seniors didn't get the same deal. They felt like they were,
Well,
they were
that's
getting the
state
short end of
law.
the stick.
That's state law. But why wouldn't you
Yeah.
give help to people
That
that
you
are lower
could.
income that you could, especially elderly?
Yeah,
Why would you not do that?
I would not do it. I would do it. So
Absolutely.
yeah, I would do it if I could. It's not some of the argument I've gotten the little bit of pushback on it, which has not been a lot.
No, you're
pushback,
not going to get much.
was that it's some kind of a handout or something for
That's
people that
not a
aren't working.
handout. Trust me.
You're not.
You're
giving
just not
them-
paying
you're just
as
not
much.
you're just not
Yeah.
increase. They still have to pay property.
That ain't a
taxes.
handout.
Yeah, they're paying the same property tax they do when they retire for the rest of their
Right.
life. That way, if you get a bunch of liberal yokels in at your county commission or your city council, and they decide we need a bunch of bike trails through town, and they raise everybody's property tax 35%, you don't hurt your seniors that are
Right.
stuck on a fixed
And you
income.
got people that are on a fixed income that just can't just keep going up and up like it's
Right.
been going. It to me, if you don't do this, you're doing a disservice to your people over 65 and older. I don't care if somebody's making $100,000 a year as a retired person and they can pay the tax. You might look at it and say, well, that's not fair, but at least you can give it to those that are just barely making it.
Right. I think it's a no-brainer to me.
Yeah, I mean,
it's-
you can help
Yeah.
your seniors.
Yeah, and
You do it.
They're one of our vulnerable populations.
Exactly,
So
exactly, and
I'm
it's
for
going
it,
to be
so,
worse and worse and worse as years go.
Yeah,
I mean, this I think it's a no brainer.
yeah.
I'm anxious to see how this will get voted on.
I am too. Yeah, and,
I want to just see the person that votes against this. I want to look at him.
and look them in the eye. And
I
ask
want to
why.
look at him.
Well, we're at least at the city. I brought it up at the study session. My request was that the city staff do the research from there, and I'm gonna do my own research. I'm not just trying to get them to do something I'm not willing to do. I'm gonna do my own research, and then hopefully in the January meeting cycle, which will be the next set of meetings for the city council, we can have the discussion. Hopefully, get to a vote. From what the little bit I've done so far, all it requires is either a resolution or an ordinance enacting it, picking which of the two levels, and then it's enacted. Now it does require the person that's entrusted with actually doing it, and this is a little bit of work, is the county trustee has to maintain the records of, they have to submit to the county trustee that I'm over 65.
Right.
This is my primary residence. This is how much I make a year. I'm requesting a tax freeze on this piece of property. So there is some work involved from the trustee's office. I know our county trustee very well. She's got a great heart for seniors. She's actually sits on the board of our senior citizen center.
I think we would see her
she would
jump
be
on board
willing,
with this.
hopefully.
Oh,
to.
yeah,
And I think she
absolutely.
would.
It's a
Yeah,
no-brainer.
she loves seniors and has done a bunch for seniors already. So we'll see where it goes. And again, hopefully Commissioner Maddox can get with maybe a couple of the committees at the county commission.
Okay.
I think the process
Chuck
would be-
Glover is on
Yeah.
here and he's asking, how does this affect local tax dollars? I'm all for it, but a legitimate question.
Yeah.
It doesn't affect the current intake. It just freezes at the time when they
It
turn
freezes
65.
at the time. Yeah, you're not cutting anybody's taxes. Nobody's getting a tax cut. It's just if next year the county commissioner, the city council decide to raise property taxes 10%, say 15%, Davidson County recently raised them 35%.
Yeah.
Those subset of seniors that are 65 and older would get a freeze at what the rate is currently. It wouldn't
Right.
go up with the rest of them. So
It would create a small percentage of decrease in tax revenue if you had a large increase.
if you had a large increase.
All right. So if you have a large increase, and this group, they're still paying. They're just paying their frozen
paying the
rate
same
the rest of
rate
their
that they
life,
would-
as
yeah.
long as they own
Yeah.
that property.
Yeah.
It would be kind of like getting a utility bill. Your utility bill is $300 a month,
Right.
and all of a sudden your utility bill goes up to $400, but you're still going to pay the $300, regardless of what how it goes up. That'd be a nice little gesture as well. But I know that's never going to happen.
Yeah, that's whole other-
but
it's
yeah,
not a big hit
Yeah.
on it's not a big hit on the budget of either the city or the county. So it's
so I think what he's getting to is, well, everybody else going to get hit a little harder.
well, they're not. Yeah.
Shouldn't be.
No, it's a very percentage wise, it's going to be small. So, and again, nobody's getting a cut. Nobody's getting we're not doing handouts here. These people are still paying their
Oh
property
yeah, they're
tax for the
paying,
rest
and
of their
then
life. Yeah.
they're just
Yeah.
well, it's just a no brainer.
Yeah, I think so. We'll see where the discussion goes. We'll get more information as it moves forward. Wednesday morning, I went to the big MTSU groundbreaking at the airport. They got their shovels. They stuck them in the dirt. They threw the dirt up in the air. They took some pictures. They had an hour of speeches
From
and
dignitaries.
there were dignitaries, many dignitaries there. And so now the actual real work can hopefully begin at the airport. They're going to start building the campus. About a 2-year construction timeline, I believe, on phase 1 of the campus. As it hopefully expands and the program gets bigger and better, they will add buildings. Eventually, there will be a parking structure, I believe, in the future. Even that's how big they're expecting to get. Also, dorms at some point. So,
Yes.
yeah, at some point, it'll turn into a big deal. It's already going to be a big deal in a couple of years when it's
So
built. but it's just-
MTSU South.
MTSU South. Yeah, this they actually mentioned during the speech, I believe the aerospace program, 7% of their student body may be involved in the aerospace program, something like that. So yeah, it's a big deal for the city, and it's going to change 231 up there. I mean, once this is open and with TCAP being open, all that up there, eventually you're going to get a lot more commercial business wanting to develop up there because
You
they're going
think?
to want to cater to the, oh yeah, you're going to get your
How
restaurants.
much traffic
and
we're
your-
gonna have?
we're going to get more traffic. It is
You
going to be
posted
more traffic.
Was it you posted a picture or somebody you shared a picture?
I shared a
of,
picture on
that
231 and
disaster
82.
oh gosh.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
we
a
did.
mess.
That's
Woo!
a mess right now. So yeah, we that is a mess. So and this will be added traffic. There's no way around that. So Thursday morning we had nothing exciting, but this was the City Employee Benefits Committee. We looked at insurance for city employees. Now we're looking at the retirement plan. So we had our first of what is going to be probably many meetings looking at retirement for city employees. So I'll stay on top of that. If anything exciting happens, I'll bring it up. So far, nothing exciting. They just presented where we're currently at.
Yeah.
So currently there's a pension plan that nobody's been able to get onto for 20 years. And everybody
Really?
since then is on a 401k. So
Okay.
that's where we're sitting right now. Thursday morning as well. Railroad Authority, always exciting. The Railroad Authority. We had they have found, we've talked about this in the past. Now that I'm on the authority, they're out of money. They're not getting any money. The state's not giving them money. They would like to have some money. They're going to go broke at some point, but they have found that the feds might have some money. So they're looking at a possible.
Oh, they print it, man.
Well, they're looking to apply for maybe a $2.5 million grant from the federal government.
So
to
you being on this,
tide
Josh,
them over.
tell us what the Railroad Authority does. That we know there's some authority because that's what it's named. So what do you all do?
We vote on contracts and we look at the reports. I think we only meet once a quarter.
What type of contracts to use the rails through this area? Is
Yeah,
that what
there's
that
a
is?
company that oversees the railroad for the railroad is owned by a conglomeration, for lack of better terms, I guess. I think Shelbyville, city of Shelbyville is involved, Bedford County, city of Wartrace for sure, and maybe Bell Buckle. I should know all that.
So
but no,
basically,
but
this affects
several different-
the east
yeah.
side. It's where
Yeah.
our rails run.
right.
The east side of Bedford County.
Right. And really it's servicing 5 or 6 big customers. So
Okay.
yeah, it's that metal recycling place. I should know them off the top of my head. I don't know. I think Gold River Feeds might be one of them, maybe else, but I don't know. And I've seen reports, but there's 4 or 5 big customers that it's cheaper to move products still on a rail car than it is split it over a bunch of
Absolutely.
semi trucks.
Absolutely, it is one motor burning.
Yeah.
but
So-
one fuel source.
Yeah. So, but
And the
again,
rail, the rail system has made so much sense,
yeah.
and the trucking industry has basically, it's more nimble and so forth, and,
Right.
and it's taken over this long haul stuff. But I'm going to think eventually this rail system, in another form, maybe electric or something down the road, we'll see a lot of changes coming, Josh,
Yeah, it's possible
in your lifetime.
but
Probably
yeah.
not mine, but
Yeah, but at the moment they're hurting
Very
for
minor,
money.
yeah.
So they're looking for money where they can get it. So it may be going to the federal government. And then I had received a phone call earlier this week, actually, I believe it was, a couple property owners over where the railroad kind of dead ends at Depot Street
Right.
at Deary there. And there's a big chunk of property there that's under railroad control. But as I just said, the railroad has no money, so they don't maintain the property at all. So it's just sitting there. It's gotten overgrown. And they were inquiring about the possibility of turning that over to the city, buying the property, doing something with it. So they had already been to the railroad authority prior to me being there, and they said, "Hey, there's a new guy in there. Let's try again. Ask the same question. We'll get the new guy." So they called the new guy. So I presented it to the group again, and they said, "Hey, if they want to present something in writing, we could look at it, possibly vote on it." So I went back to the property owners and said, "Hey, if you want to present something in writing, we can actually vote on it." But other than that, that's as far as it's gotten. So we'll see if that goes anywhere. And then last but not least on my week, Friday afternoon, we had a Bedford County Christmas on the square. It was like something out of a Hallmark movie. We always say this second year it's happened. There was snow machines. There was live reindeers. There was cloggers in the street. There was angels. There were superheroes. I saw Santa Claus and elves. And
you and Santa are pretty tight. I've noticed. That's the theme today.
I didn't hang out with this Santa a lot. I got to tell you, he didn't look exactly. I'm not sure it was the same Santa Claus that watched. I hate to break this, but there might be more than one Santa Claus. So
well,
I'm just saying this one looked a little different than the one that was at the fairgrounds. Maybe he'd eaten a little bit. It'd been a couple of weeks. I don't know, but he didn't look exactly the same. But either way, he got brought in by a fire truck driven or with Robert Dye and Tyler Dye from War Trace. They drove him around the square, and then they lit the Christmas tree, which we actually had a couple comments on the video that I posted that said, the actual tree lighting itself is a little underwhelming. The courthouse was already lit up, so you just basically lit up the tree by itself. But I didn't have the video part. The most impressive part is the fact that the fireworks go off after that, and the fireworks were really good. So, and it drew a crowd. It was packed. I don't do crowd estimates, but the square was very busy. A lot of people there. So
were there any stores open through that time?
Yeah, every store was open. So, that's a good point. Actually, I walked twice just because I was curious with everybody being out in the street, what was going on and the stuff. I walked in Grindstone Cowboy during the event, and then I actually hung out there for about 30 minutes after the event, and they were wall-to-wall people in there. They had live music after the event, and even during the event, while everybody was out in the street, they were still full. People eating dinner and stuff. I walked by Glass Hollow. They looked like they were packed with people eating dinner. I know they were having that Steel Magnolias dinner show at the Fly, and that was a sellout, I think, last night. Last I checked, there was like one ticket available. So it was basically a sellout. All the other stores around the square, they were open. They looked like they had people in buying stuff. So I think overall it was a really good event. So yeah, hopefully we'll keep doing that every year. So
this is the second year.
This is the second annual. So next year will be the third annual, hopefully. And hopefully we'll just keep going from there. So yeah, it was a good event. But with that, we are in the holiday Christmas season, and things are kind of quiet around town. There were no other meetings I went to.
Elvis put his tree up last week.
I don't know if
you noticed. He was
decorated for Christmas. So yeah. So no other meetings this week. Nothing else really crazy to cover. So unless you've got some comments you want to cover, maybe let's hear from our sponsors, and we'll talk about what's coming up next.
We did have a couple comments talking about the senior break or the senior tax freeze.
Yeah.
And it was 2 thumbs up. Let's help our seniors. Okay. And, let's eliminate the senior abuse. That's like help our seniors. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So 2 to the affirmative, and I think it would be a slam dunk, probably 90% if you put a poll out there.
I would think so. Yeah. I mean, like I said, I've little bit of pushback, but really most everybody I've heard.
Well, whoever pushed back on that hadn't thought it all the way through yet. Probably.
Maybe so. Yeah, maybe so. I think anything we can do to help our seniors is good.
Yeah.
So,
all right, let's take a break, hear from our sponsors, and we'll come back
and talk about the upcoming week.
And we got some big stuff happening today.
There's stuff happening.
Yeah.
So.
We'll be right back.
Available at Auto Collection. We currently have 2 excellent vehicles in stock, both with clean titles and in great condition. 2015 Ford Escape, 119,000 miles. 2021 Nissan Altima, 60,000 miles. Whether you're looking for a dependable SUV or a modern, fuel-efficient sedan, these vehicles offer quality, reliability, and value. Visit us at Auto Collection 319, Madison Street, Shelbyville. Call us today, 931-492-4663. Schedule your test drive and Let us help you find the right vehicle for your needs.
Get the results you want with the personalized service you deserve at Dennis Young Insurance Agency.
As a local independent agency, we offer coverage from several different companies, including Erie. So whether it's auto, home, life, personal, or business, we can find the right coverage to meet your unique insurance needs. And with a rate lock advantage, your rates won't go up as long as you do not change drivers, autos, or addresses. Contact us at Dennis Young Insurance Agency, insuring Shelbyville and surrounding areas since 1988.
Ready to upgrade your space? At Extreme Flooring in Shelbyville, we've got you covered. From carpet and hardwood to luxury vinyl, tile, and waterproof flooring. We also handle kitchen backsplash and bath remodels. Our design and sales team will help you find the perfect fit with trusted brands like Dreamweaver, Shaw, Mohawk, Dull Tile, and Tile Bar. And their certified installers make sure everything looks just right. Stop by and see us at 225 Colorado Boulevard in Shelbyville or give us a call at 931-735-6700. Financing is available. Schedule your consultation today at extreme-flooring.com. Let's make your home amazing.
All righty, welcome back into the weekend wrap up. And as we wrap up, we're going to look ahead.
We're looking ahead to the week ahead, and we're going to look ahead to the day ahead. Yesterday, we had Santa Claus and all his elves on the square. And today, Santa's coming back, and he's riding on a float, and we're doing a parade. So today is the big annual Christmas parade. I believe this one is this is like the 52nd annual or something.
A bunch of them.
Long time. This one's been going on a lot longer than the event we had last night. So yeah, so this is the big one. Starts, goes around the square, goes up North Main Street, turns, I believe it turns at KFC, doesn't it? Goes down Madison Street all the way to the celebration grounds. Parade starts at 4. There will be a live stream hosted by Tina and Ryan, I believe, starting at 3.
Tina and Neil
at 3:45.
We'll start the live stream at 3:45, and our premier sponsor there is Shelbyville Animal Hospital.
Yep.
That's where we will be set up.
We'll be set up in front of the animal hospital, and I will be riding with the city council in a Jeep throwing candy at children, is what I'm told. So
at children.
Throwing candy
Not
at children,
but at children.
At children. I believe they got us 4 boxes of candy.
What kind of candy you got?
I don't know. I hope it's not too hard. That could hurt. It's I think they said each box was like 30 pounds of candy. So we might be throwing 120 pounds of candy at children. So hopefully not all at once in small pieces.
Do you think you'd have any left by the time you get to us? You might toss us a piece or two.
I'll throw some at you while I pass. So now I'm wondering when we get down Madison Street, how much will be left. We're going to conserve ourselves. We're going to have to pace ourselves.
Pace yourself.
Pace ourselves. But it's a really good parade. It's usually a very long parade. So it's always a fun time. So good for the whole family. So
how many entries they have? It's a pretty good bit, I thought.
It's long because they're blocking off is it Depot Street that runs off there that the county buildings run? They're actually blocking off Depot Street to help line up the parade this year so it's so
they'll be right down to where
Depot. What is that street?
It's Lane Parkway is where they're going to
Lane up. But it's that other street that the county finance office and stuff is on, that street that I'm drawing a blank on, but you know the one.
I can't remember what that is. That little street there.
Yes, that little street. They're blocking that street off. So to help line people up. So it's going to be a long parade. It should be fun. Weather's supposed to be decent, I think. 40s. I think Elijah would say, it looks good on I'm seeing a 47 and part of the sunshine there. So
and it will start to get dark as the parade.
It'll get dark, pretty quick as the parade's coming through. But
we're starting to get dark at about 4:35 to
4:30
4:40 in that range. So we're fixing to.
Yep. So it'll be a good time. And then as far as the rest of the week, again, we're still in the light holiday season, but Tuesday we do have the very first ever meeting of the County Wastewater Committee. This has been a much discussed, much debated committee that's going to look at distributed wastewater systems. And they're going to have their first meeting 5:30 Tuesday evening in the historic courthouse on the square. So I will be at that. And we'll cover what goes on at that next Saturday. And then right after that, 7 o'clock, same building, up on the next floor above it, is the monthly county commission meeting. Not a lot on that agenda I looked at. I don't think anything super controversial. Maybe one of those that moves pretty quick and the announcements last longer than the meeting, I bet. So, not a lot going on. Everybody's kind of quiet. And that's it. There are no city meetings this week at all. And yeah, that's about all there is.
Okay, so it's kind of from now till end of the year, it'll be kind of quiet.
everything's generally gets a little quiet this time of
Yeah.
year. So
All
yeah.
right. Well, thanks for all your hard work, Josh. You've
No,
been
thank
covering a
you.
lot. I'm sure we'll have something come up with Uncle Nearest in the next
Oh yeah, something will come up. And thank you, Chuck Lowe. Yes, it's Dover Street that I was drawing the
Dover
blank on.
Street.
Yes, yeah. And
yeah.
I should know that it's in my ward too, and I
That's
drive it all the
right.
time. But I
Yeah,
just
yeah.
it's I'll tell you what it is. It's that stupid Google Maps. Once you GPS your way around everything, you forget all
Forget
this
what the
stuff.
name of the
So,
stuff is.
yeah, I used to travel. I traveled
Man.
the entire country with a Rand McNally atlas,
Oh,
like like up into Alaska with
yeah.
it. I had a paper book.
You know what?
And I drove back roads nowhere, and I found my way. There was no GPS then. There was no, and now everybody.
Hey, here's the thing,
Yeah.
Josh. You hand somebody a map now,
Oh,
and
good
they
luck.
can't read it.
Well, yeah,
they don't know north from south.
no,
What it's
which
turning-
direction to go.
I'm like,
So,
I showed a map of Tennessee to an adult long ago.
Yeah.
And I said, do you see right here? And it's I was trying to show them on a map how to get somewhere.
Right.
It was like, what?
what?
What is this?
Yeah,
We've
so,
gotten so dependent
you
on
type
Siri.
the address in on your
Siri,
phone,
And listen to her. I may
Yeah.
tell you, if you listen too close, especially on some of these back roads, you're gonna get in a mess.
yeah,
you
it's gonna
better
drive off
be
somewhere,
able to
So, yeah,
stop and ask or get a map out. you
yeah,
know?
learn how to read a map. So,
Exactly.
yeah, yeah. Which is
Two arts that are going away: learning how to read a map and learning how to give change back.
change. Yeah,
Can't do it.
No,
Can't
either
do
one.
it.
So yeah,
And now that you would think it would get a little easier now that everybody's starting to round up to the nearest nickel. Okay,
yeah,
because there's a big shortage of pennies.
yeah. Penny shortage.
I mean, First Community Bank's got them stacked up, but everybody's got a shortage for some reason. But rounding up, that's got to help a little bit.
It's not.
It's not going to help.
No.
Okay,
No. Paper maps. Let's go back to paper
maps,
Yeah.
maps, and
Cash.
real money,
Cash.
cash on it,
All right.
coins.
Yeah, yeah. With that, I think.
Oh,
we've
by the
said-
way,
yeah,
before I
oh.
can't let you slide there. You've been
Oh.
to Southern Cup again this morning.
Oh yeah, let's give us a shout out to Southern Cup. Let me tell you, this is why you shop local. I pulled up to Southern Cup this morning, got up to the window, and told the nice young lady there what drink I wanted. She immediately reached out and handed it to me. She knew what I wanted before I got to the
Exactly.
window.
That's called service.
She had made it while I was sitting in
saw you
line.
coming,
She saw me
Josh.
coming. She
Yep.
said, "I saw your window down, knew who you were, and made your drink for you." So
And for whatever it's worth, Josh.
Yeah.
Going back to the questions you asked me, that's
Yeah.
part of the Good Old Boy Network and the positives of it.
well, that's a positive. Yeah, yeah, that is positive.
I mean, they know you. You're a good old boy.
They knew me.
They
I
knew
didn't
me,
have to
and that's
wait.
personal relationships.
Yeah.
And that type of thing exists in small communities now.
Yeah.
The question is Bedford County going to remain a small community? We're sitting on that teeter right
On the
there,
edge.
On the
yeah,
edge.
that tipping point is
The
they
tipping
call it,
point,
I
yeah.
think. So,
All right, Josh, thanks for all your hard work, and thanks everybody for watching. We love your comments. Even if you want to criticize us, please do it. We'll take critique. And
all the criticism
Yes.
you want, send it to David. Post on
Yeah,
his
post
article
it on
about the
me.
good old boy.
I'm
Call
good
David
with it.
whatever name you want.
I'm
So,
good. Yes, absolutely. Please do.
Yeah.
And we'll see you guys next week. I hope you have a great weekend.
Come on
Get
out to the parade.
If you can't get out, be sure to watch our live stream starting at 3:45 on Facebook,
And YouTube.
on Google, YouTube. I started to say Google,
yeah.
YouTube, and our website. Those three places you can check out the parade.